Robyn, thank you so much. I am so excited to sit down and chat with you. You have been a gem. I have loved getting to know you better. I love your presence because every time I read your posts or I talk to you, you're just so calming. That's the thing that I would say about you. You're just so peaceful and calming. So when you're around, you don't get stressed out. You're just like, oh, Robyn's just calm. I love that. So I'm sure that's how you run your business too, which draws people to you. You know what I mean? But it's a pleasure to be able to sit down and talk with you and just hear a little bit about your story. So I would love to ask you just a couple questions to have everyone get to know a little bit about you and your story and your journey, if that's okay.
Go for it. I'm looking forward to
Great.
it.
So what was your life like before you started this online business? What were you looking for? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, actually, while you were speaking about me being calm and being, bringing the presence and grounding people, I thought, oh my gosh, where my life was and what I have journeyed through has probably helped me to become more like that because it's in the surrender, isn't it? It's in the trusting the path ahead and the unknown. And that's exactly where I was at. I was navigating a 32-year marriage breakdown, reinventing myself in unimaginable places that were scary and unknown. And I guess I just clung to my faith and knowing God was with me, that He had a path for me, because that was one thing. I had actually gone through breast cancer a number of years before that, which had been a pivotal point in, I guess, me realizing that my life mattered and
Mm.
that what I was doing was suppressing my truth, denying who I was, trying to please everybody and keep the good roles. You know, what was a good woman to do? What was a good Christian woman to do? And but inside I was dying. So I, yeah, I was open. Had been doing some personal development, which was an amazing journey, and studied to be a life coach. And that really just came across my path. You know, when we sometimes hit the wall and we let go of having to be able to control it because we literally can't. I believe that's often when doors open, and this opened for me. I started to learn a little bit more about myself, about who I was, and what I really wanted, because we all know what we don't want, but how many of us really have clarity about what we really do want?
Mm.
And found myself, had to I'd homeschooled 7 children, so I had not been in the marketplace for many, many decades. And I did an aged care course. So I was working in a private hospital in a cardiology ward as what we call in Australia a PCA, which is like a personal carer, like a nurse aide type thing. And I loved the contribution side. I loved being able to support people to make a difference. And yet the whole establishment, the bureaucracy, the hierarchy just was not my game. Even I came to realize I'm not made to wear a uniform.
Sure. Yeah.
As I could see through, I can just cut through all that nonsense and think, but what about the human being at the other end? So anyway, I was running a coaching business on the side of working permanently part-time in the hospital, and I was feeling burnt out and on that hamster wheel again, which I had learnt when I went through cancer, that I had not been looking after myself. I had not been listening to my body. So I thought, what am I doing? And yet, for many of you women out there, you would be like me. There was a sense of you had to keep going
Hmm.
because there seemed no other way. And it was about survival. So I just one day happened to come across a post of a lovely coaching friend who had said she'd given up her full-time job and she was, loving being at home. And I thought, how did she do that? Because the last time I talked to her, she was still trying in that constant wheel of trying to get clients and to support her business. And so I rang her and I said, what are you doing? That's fantastic, to celebrate her and catch up. And she shared this business model that I just took a step back and I knew instantly, it just spoke right to my heart that this was what I needed. I did not need to be exchanging time for money anymore. And I was not quite 60 at that time. And I just said yes. And I worked out how. I did not have the funds. I really didn't have the time. But I'm a person that when I have a conviction and I know that this is what is right for me, I find a way. And actually, years ago, I actually wrote a chapter in a book about the most successful entrepreneurial woman. And mine was titled Say Yes and Work Out How. So here was another
Mhm.
opportunity to be able to live this. So that is what my background looked like. I've since packed up, gave away, sold just about everything I owned, traveled 2,500 kilometers in my little car, and I've relocated to another state closer to family, and I'm living my best life.
I love it. I love it. You said so many things that stuck with me because I tend to talk to people. I'm 49, and that age group of like, approaching 50 to your age. And I think everyone's gone through a similar, pivotal moment in their life. It takes on a variety of different forms, but this idea of trying to be a people pleaser or doing things for other people and coming to this moment. Like for me, I've had my own business for 18 years. I've absolutely loved what I do. I do workshops for teachers as an outsider, so I've always been an entrepreneur. But the same way you described kind of like that box, that bureaucracy, trying to be an entrepreneur, but within these, constraints and coming to a moment where it's just not working anymore and needing to break free from that. And I know I talk to healthcare workers, women who are in corporate America. It's all the same, right? You're like stuck in this box, knowing that there's more, not sure
Exactly.
what to do about it. And then comes different opportunities like this one where, I think it's seeing someone in your real life go
Exactly.
first. You see it online, but when you see someone you actually know in real life, I think that's what empowers women to say, well, if she can do it, then I can do it too. So what would
That's
you say about
exactly.
that?
Yes, absolutely. I'm a firm believer with that. We do not need to know exactly how it's all going to pan out. But the thing is, if you're hungry for change, if you're willing to be coachable and to be mentored, and you're willing to be committed to the journey, because let's face it, nothing is just one smooth, curve upwards, is it? And when we dare to dream about taking our freedom back to our choices, to be able to have slow mornings, which is what I really treasure, and to really know that you are living your full potential and you're answering that call within, that is not going to be always a smooth road. Our business model that we follow is reasonably easy, but the journey to get out of our own way
Yes,
sometimes
totally.
and get the clarity that we need and build resilience, because part of the gift of this is becoming the person that you become, and that is building more confidence. It's knowing who you are, it's letting go of the opinions of others, letting go of your past stories, and just moving forward one step after another. And let's face it, Kristina, we all come from a different place and we all start from a different um, yeah, a different starting block, whether we've been in business before, whether we've been a mum raising children. And it's not comparing, it's keeping our eyes on the prize and keeping taking those steps. And most of all, looking after ourselves. And that has been, yeah, such a gift, letting go of so many stresses and just running my own race for
Yeah.
sure.
I definitely think mindset is like
Oh,
you
yeah.
say, the business model is simple. It's the mindset and getting out of your own way that seems to be the thing that temporarily trips a lot of people up. And once you overcome that, it's like everything kind of comes together. But until you get that underway, believing you can do this, believing that you're stepping out of that normal path, the normal path that many take. And so I think that's huge. Yeah. So one thing I think of everyone I see who's been in this business model for a while, they look younger every year. And I definitely think you have like a glow and
Oh, that's
just,
lovely.
because of things you said, slower mornings, less
Yeah.
stress, living in your purpose. So
Mm,
that and anything else, like how has your life changed? You talked about how you moved and you sold things and you just changed your life. Anything
mm.
else you would say about how your life is different now?
Yeah. Well, one thing that really is a priceless gift is that I have hope for the future. And for many people, especially as we get older, they are in a comfort zone. They may have a partner that's providing as well. They don't have a big need. And yet, underneath there's that whisper, I call it, that there is more for them, and yet they just continue to settle. Well, I guess for me, I've not been able to have that. I, had to face reality and had to take responsibility for my own destiny in many ways, and to have hope in a path that I know is going to deliver, is an awesome, I guess, security, and that I have got clarity. That is such a big thing. To be able to pause and notice, but live more intentionally has been such a gift. I had seven
Mm.
children and homeschooled, so my life was a lot about being on that hamster wheel in many ways. And to listen to my body, that has been huge. And know that by just plugging in, one of the biggest gifts is that I've grown in more confidence. I am confident in who I am. I know I'm worthy without doing anything. I don't have anything to prove. And that has been absolutely wonderful. Along with the financial side, that one, high ticket sale is equivalent to about 257 hours that I used to work, and I still have a bit of injuries on my shoulders from being in healthcare. And I just sometimes I'd come out of a room and I'd just go, I've just got to go to the bathroom to catch my breath before somebody else needs
Yeah.
me. So it's not about not working, because this takes work, but it is like I get to work beside a pool, I get to work, I take it to the beach and sit on a park bench. I've got a phone that you can take anywhere, and you get to meet the most amazing
Yeah.
people that actually want more too, because I find it really hard actually to be around people that just are a cup half empty, just to have that zeal and that joy of life. And it's
Yeah.
not all about the riches and the wealth. To me, I have and I feel emotional just even saying it. So that's my heart, is to really support and lift other women higher,
Hmm.
because I know for us in New Zealand, women over 55 are the highest demographic of homelessness through divorce,
Wow.
domestic violence, disease, and depression. For
Interesting.
those four
Yeah.
things, I can say I have experienced all one of them in different forms.
Right.
And I was 10 and a half years ago, I faced some pretty unimaginable past, and it was really scary. So I can honestly say that to be able to find a path that gives you financial security is such I guess it's a healing balm and it helps to heal your nervous system. But yeah, so those are just a few. I've had so many adventures, I've done so many things, and yeah, I'm still on that journey. I'm not where I ultimately want to be, but I know that I'm on that right path to really answer the call within, that I can then use my abundance to be able to support and help other women do the same.
Yeah. That's why whenever I'm talking to someone initially and they're like, is this sales? It's like, I don't even know how to answer that because it's such a low level question to what you just said. No, it's empowering other women to literally step into the best version of themselves and
Yeah.
to be someone to show them the way. So, is it sales? I guess technically,
Yeah.
but it's so much more than that. And it's like, for the people that kind of close themselves off because they're like, oh, I'm not good at sales. It's like, no, you are embarking on this moment where you get to go first and
Yeah.
then empower other women to step into the best versions of themselves. I'm like getting chills just talking about it because everyone that I've worked with, that's what it is. It's like who they were before, who they are now, and that you get to be a part of that is just amazing, And I feel like you explained that so well.
Well, it's really, this business is about being all of ourselves, bringing, our gifts, our interests, our passions, our values to the world of social media, and letting go the attachment of what happens there. But we attract those people that resonate with, our story, who we are, and what we believe, what we value. And that's really as simple as it is, because who doesn't want to have more passion in life, more purpose,
Yeah.
more autonomy, more choices? And that's really ultimately, yes, we partner with a company that helps us have a vehicle, but really the ultimate journey is to be our true self, that self that we were always created to be.
Yeah, that's great. So, last question to summarize it all. What would you say to someone who is thinking about or about to embark on this journey? And what would you
Mm.
say to them?
Well, I would encourage you and invite you to listen to that whisper within, because that is your intuition. That's God speaking to you, that you know, and no matter what your circumstances are, you know that there is something more for you, and to listen to it, to take, courage. Sometimes people say, oh, I'm not courageous enough, or I need more courage, or you've got courage, I don't. But courage shows up when you take action, when you take a step forward. Courage shows up and you realize, oh, I didn't die in that step. I'm
Mhm.
still here. And, there is a quote that I really hit me many years ago, and it's from an old philosopher called Henry Thoreau. And it says, most men and women are living a life of quiet desperation and die with a song unsung. And because I was in healthcare, I nursed people, and they used to say to me, I left it too late, dear, don't you? And it's like they sit on my shoulder. And I think when I face something that I'm a bit, oh, can I do this? I think, yes, what's the worst that can happen? I'm going to grow, or I'm going to learn from, something that didn't work. The stories we put on, not always getting it right always the first time, is ridiculous, because we learn through our stumbling, our failures. This is the journey of life. So I just invite you that your life matters, and don't settle for a life that's where you're going to die with a song unsung.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think
And
that's a great.
explore, don't you think?
What did
Get
you say?
just explore, get curious, reaching out to, find out more is going to show you whether this is aligned for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much. You're such an inspiration. I wish you the best of luck. I've loved getting to know you, and I'm so excited to get to know you more. But thank you so much for your time. I know this is going to bless a lot of people.
Well, bless you, Christina. It's been lovely to connect, and this is the joy too on the other side of the world, we get to meet soul-aligned women that we just click with, and
Definitely.
this is the part of the joy of life, isn't it?
Yes. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Enjoy your day. It's morning there and night
It
here,
is. Yep, it is.
right? Have a wonderful day.
Thanks.